I think they'll do pretty good. Annabelle's hair is not going to last in her little pom-pom buns that she insisted on having today.
What
So
was today? Peace Day?
today was Peace Day. Yeah. So she, whatever reason, decided that she wanted buns. So we'll
Oh,
see. Yeah.
hair buns scream peace, right?
Sure. I guess they
Hey
do.
guys, I'm Aaron Cochran by Tennessee Dirt. I'm our team lead. I've also got my other team lead here, my beautiful wife, Cassandra. Today we're going to be talking about how we transitioned from California to Tennessee and what brought us here and what drove us out of there and all the things that Tennessee has brought to offer us. So it's going to be very in depth, and we're going to share everything that's impacted our family. And yeah, so Cassandra, introduce yourself if you want, and you can say you're Aaron's wife, or
Yeah.
Aaron's my husband, or however you want to do it. How do you want to lay claim to that?
Right, right. So I'm Cassandra Cochran. I am one of the other team leads. I'm the quote unquote rainmaker of by Tennessee Dirt. I'm here with my wonderful husband, Aaron. We have been together for, was it 14 years, 13 years? Yeah, 13 years. Been married for almost 10.
I'm glad you answered that, because if you would have put me on the spot and had me ask, it's
I had to do the math.
typical.
I had to do the math in my head. Yes. No, actually, it's 14 years because we got together in 2010. So yeah,
Ha!
14 years.
You,
So.
Cassandra likes to count since we've been dating, not just how long we've been actually married. So is that marriage or dating?
No, we've been together since 2010, so 14 years. We've been married for almost 10 years.
Oh, okay.
It'll be
See,
10
so
years
I
in
just
May.
just want to clarify for people.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So,
So, yeah, we've got three girls.
mhm,
Annabelle's our eldest, Charlotte Ruby's our middle, and Elizabeth May is our youngest.
yeah.
And as of today, that is 3, 6, and 8.
Yep.
Hey, I got that right. I know how old my kids are. Don't ask questions.
That's okay. Elizabeth asked me yesterday, she goes, "How many days until my birthday? How many more days?" And I said, "Okay, well, today conveniently is the 18th, so you have exactly 4 months until you turn 4," 'cause she's beyond excited about turning 4.
Yeah,
Who would have known 4?
she's going to be a big girl at 4, right?
Yes, yes, that's the plan.
So, to give you guys a little background, we live in Estill Springs, Tennessee. It is in Franklin County between Winchester and Tullahoma. We've got ourselves 5 acres currently, and we've got a little mini farm going on it. We've got 3 cows, and how many pigs do we have right now?
Let's see, if you were to count Fred and Ethel, so that's 2 plus the 2 teenagers, that's 4, plus the 10 piglets, so that's 14. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of pigs. And then
Yeah.
we've got a plethora of chickens that produce eggs for us, and huge garden, and we're working on the homesteading thing. So, if you guys have questions about homesteading in Tennessee, let us know. We'll also do a video on that in the future.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Cassandra, how do we consider our 5 acres? We've always talked about this, and it's our sanctuary. It's our
Mhm.
protected space. Do you want to
Mhm.
elaborate a little bit on that and how that means, what it means to our family?
Yeah, so, I'm a firm believer in finding a place that you can call home, finding a place that you can call your sanctuary, your place that you can come home and just relax, be able to breathe. I think that's one of the biggest things that we've told people when, about moving to Tennessee and how great it's been. Literally, we can sit on our back porch and just breathe, just be able to just exist. And I'm also a firm believer in kind of like a hedge of protection. I think, the people that lived in our house before, they blessed the house and they blessed the property. And I think we've been very lucky and prosperous, and the soil has provided for us. Tennessee soil has provided for us tenfold and more so than I think we would have. I don't think we would have ever imagined that our life would be the way it is today, when we first moved here.
100%. We've been here for what, 2.5 years now? A little
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, it'll be
Is
what,
it
3 years in May? Yeah,
May of
May.
next year? Yeah.
Mhm.
So, 2.5 years, we moved here from California, and we moved from a town that had 40,000 people in it, and it was considered small rural part
Mhm.
of Northern California. So, and we got here, and how many people are in Estill Springs, Tennessee?
The last I checked, it's like I wanna say it's 2,100. So it from jumping
Wow,
from
we're growing. Last
40,000.
time I saw it, we were 2,000, so
Oh,
holy smokes.
it
We're
might have
turning
been.
into a big city here.
Yeah, no, I think it's always funny when people ask like, "Oh, where'd you move from?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we moved from 40,000 people to, what was considered small." And they're like, what?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I
So,
think it's I don't know, terrifying, interesting, I don't know, however you wanna describe it, but whenever we go to Murfreesboro now, which is about an hour away, if we need to go to Costco or something, we just can't wait to get back out of there because of we just like our small town life.
oh, yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, anytime we have to go up there, the minute we get on 55 in Manchester, I'm like, "Oh, I can breathe again." I'm not on, going 75 miles an hour with trucks, climbing up our backside because 'cause we're not going fast enough. We like the slower pace of life, that's for sure.
So we always haven't been in real estate. In California, we ran a landscape construction company. We had right around 40 employees that I think at our departure from California. And I don't know, you want to tell them a little bit about what was our deciding factor, or what was our jump point, what made us decide to leave? We had a successful business there,
Yeah.
and we were doing good things for both the community, at least I feel, and and for our clients. But
Mm.
why would we just uproot and leave that?
So I think the biggest thing, yes, we did have a very successful, company and things were good and, we were helping the community out in various, aspects. But it got to the point where we unfortunately had some, bad dealings and we had some hard choices to make. And it wasn't easy. It
You
was
you can say it. We had employees stealing from
Well,
us.
yes, yes, we did find out that we had employees stealing from us. They were clocking in, on the weekends, going and doing their side gigs, on our dime. There were plenty of times where we had, our employees, instead of, doing the job correctly, they weren't doing it correctly, so then we'd have to go back and redo it, and then a lot of people that we put in place, that we thought we trusted, or we at the time we did trust, we put them in place as management, to watch over, these crews, and what was happening is that they were just dropped the ball and turned their backs on us and said, "Well, that's not my problem," which obviously it uh, it scared us a lot because we lost a lot of trust in people.
I mean,
Um,
we moved here, and I don't think I left our property for months if I could help it. When I say don't leave the property, like we didn't go out and explore. We kind of moved here and covered up in a blanket and huddled down because we didn't trust the world. So
yeah,
just so you guys know, like we haven't ever filmed and disclosed all this and shared our story with anybody. So we're hoping that it inspires you guys, and if you're in a tough spot or something like that, that it's okay to restart.
yeah.
We had 3 kids and we had no place to go. So, we shut the business down. We sold everything off, settled up whatever debts we could, and we loaded up our fifth wheel that we were blessed to have, and the Suburban and the 3 girls and our dog, our 80-pound pit bull, and we left. We left California, what, 3 days before our house actually closed.
Yeah, yeah,
I think we were in Arizona and we finally got the relief that it closed, or just on the other side of Arizona.
yeah.
Um, we ended up we hired a company called UPAC, um, and they dropped a trailer off at the house for us, it's like a semi truck trailer, and we loaded it up. We packed it, called like UPAC, and we shut the door, and they came and picked it up. And once we got here, they brought it to us.
Yeah.
Once we had a place to go, so we didn't have a place. We didn't have a house picked out. How long did we shop for houses, Cassandra, before we actually? I don't know. We made what,
Well,
3 trips out here.
yeah. So we were planning on buying some land, in Summertown and build a house with Summertown Metals. But because of the economy and everything, well, there's two factors as to why we didn't do that. The first one was the sale of the land itself, the listing or the seller was just not willing to budge on the price. I mean, I think they wanted like $30,000 an acre, but granted, we were also trying to buy like 25 acres. And then the price of the house that we were going to build from Summertown Metals, it went up like another, I think, $100,000, and it was like it was unrealistic. So we had to switch gears,
And that was
and
no fault of Summertown. I mean, we're
oh no,
talking just at the end of the pandemic,
yeah,
with COVID ending and stuff like that. I mean, the construction industry was crazy. There was such a shortage on materials.
yeah, that was what fall of 2021
Yeah.
was when we did that, and then we switched gears, started searching for houses. We flew back out, I think sometime in November, and then there was like another time we came out in December, and then I think
February.
yeah, and then February, and then we had our house on the market, went on the market February 22nd, 2022, and we still didn't have a house, didn't know what we were gonna do, and, we got our house finally under contract, and it was definitely scary because we had everything packed up, like Aaron said, we, send everything off U-Pack, and then, like, literally 3 days later, we put the rest of our stuff, our clothing, our, personal belongings, computers, and all that stuff in the fifth wheel and left California, like, and didn't have a place to call home here in Tennessee. So we left California with just the stuff on our backs and hoping and praying that once we got to Tennessee that we would find something. Um, yeah.
So I'll let you talk about it. Why was Tennessee our destination? Like what brought us to Tennessee? Because we still have family, like your parents, my dad,
Hmm.
my uncle. We have a couple of friends
Hmm.
still in California. Why did we have our sights set on Tennessee? Why didn't we move to, like your mom said, why didn't we move to Nevada? Like why didn't we, you know, closer to your sister? Like I don't know, why didn't we move somewhere else?
Yeah. So the biggest deciding factor is, yes, your dad actually grew up here in Tennessee, and we came out originally to as a visit when I was pregnant with Annabelle. So that was what, 2016. And even though it was in like February, it was, just drab and, there was nothing going on because it was cold and snowy and everything, but it was still kind of like a cool, I've never been to Tennessee before. And then we came out in 2018, did a road trip. We learned a lot about ourselves and our family. Cause at the
And
time,
yeah, they were
two,
both Annabelle and
both,
Charlotte were both in diapers.
yep, both in
And Charlotte was what,
diapers.
6 months old?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Six
we were
months old.
crazy.
And we learned a lot. Like I said, we learned a lot about ourselves as, as a husband and wife, but then just as parents, which, we learned a lot of patience, but even though sometimes our patience is very thin right now. But so anyway, so we came out here in 2018 and we talked about it on the way back. We're like, it'd be kind of cool. And we drove, by the way, drove like we were just in the car. So that was an experience in itself. And then,
We had moments in that road trip. I remember you and I would pull over the side of the road just because the girls were just either
mhm,
crying or fussing, or they didn't want to be in the car anymore. And it's granted, I mean, especially of their age, but we got out of the car and we left the car running, air conditioning's running, and we got out. We just
mhm,
sat on the hood, not sat on the hood, leaned on the hood, and we're like,
you have to.
oh, we need a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah. So it was a frustrating trip.
Yes.
But after we made the trip to Tennessee and we're on our way back, and I remember we're an hour and a half out from our house in California at the time. I remember we looked at each other and we're like, it's over.
Yeah.
We were gone for what,
2
3 weeks? Something
weeks,
two.
2.5 weeks. Yeah, yeah, I'd say about 2.5, 3 weeks. Yeah, it
So
was, but we knew that we would maybe eventually buy a vacation home because at this time, 2018, this was obviously before the pandemic, but business was good. It wasn't where it was when we, ended everything, but it was still pretty good. So we knew that we would eventually just, we would possibly buy something here. And then, like I said, we were dealt kind of the ugly stick basically, or the wrong hand, dealt the wrong cards, and we decided to, like I said, close things down. And we were like, I remember the conversation, and there's very few people that know this, but Aaron and I were sitting on our like Adirondack chairs on our back porch in California, and we we sat there and we're like, and this is after the kids went to bed, we sat there and we're like, so what do we do? And it was a hard conversation to have, but Aaron kind of looked at me and he's like, I can either shut things down here in California and restart. He's like, I've done it before. I started from nothing and built this empire. So I can either shut things down, restart, or we just abandon ship. Let's just get rid of everything, sell everything, and move. And it was like, well, where to? Tennessee. That's where we're going.
There
Um,
wasn't any other factor. There was no other place that we even brought up. I just said, if we do this, that's where I want to go. That's where my heart
yeah,
is. That's where we always felt like when we left that that's where we belonged. Every time we came back to California, we felt like we didn't belong here. We didn't belong there.
yeah,
That we needed to be on Tennessee soil.
yeah,
And I think our deciding factor once we decided that we weren't going to build a home, I think that's kind of where even our team name came from is buy Tennessee dirt. We felt that at that point we told our realtor at the time because we weren't agents, of course, and we explained to her as we just said we want to be on Tennessee soil. We don't care where it's at, and being on Tennessee soil meant so much more to us than the freedoms and the fresh start and a place that we could raise our girls the way we wanted to raise them. And gosh, don't get us started on the school system here. Like, you think California has amazing schools, or at least that's what they report. Getting here, oh my gosh, like our
night and day.
night and day,
Yeah,
absolutely night and day. Um, just it's just a different way of teaching here, and they care more and they teach better curriculum. And granted, Annabelle was a COVID baby in kindergarten, having to wear masks in kindergarten and trying to learn, and that was a struggle as it is. But
yeah.
good gosh, we got here and we thought we knew something, and then we didn't know what we didn't know until we didn't know it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think another, I guess, deciding factor of why we chose Tennessee, not only do we have family here and friends and everything, but my all-time favorite story from your dad is when he went down to the creek one time, obviously years ago, and he sees Johnny Cash in the creek playing with some kids or fishing or something
Yeah,
like
he had
that.
his pants rolled up playing with kids
Yep.
in the creek.
And then June Carter was, sitting in the front seat of the pickup truck with her feet
Yep.
propped up, reading a
She
book.
had her feet kicked out the window and reading a book. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that
We've taken our
simple.
girls swimming in the exact same spot too.
Yeah, yeah, it's the simple things, and it's I think your, Cowboy Jimmy, your cousin, definitely, allowed us to slow down and enjoy the little things and not just be go, go, go all the time. Even though we very much are on the go with business, with real estate and our kids and everything and the farm, it's a different kind of pace. And I think it's just, I don't know, it's good for
Well,
the soul.
it's made us, focus on our family and our careers and our marriage and all these things in a different way since we've been here. And like you said, slowing down. Um, it's when you talk to people here, it's you got to slow down. Cassandra will talk sometimes like her mouth's running like a sewing machine, and Mr. Morris that lives around the corner from us, he's an old farmer that's really we've taken a liking to him and his family, and
I
vice
know what
versa.
you're saying.
I know what you're saying.
I know what you're
And it's
saying.
sometimes I look at him when she's talking to him and I go, he has no clue what she's saying. she's just she's just a running in her mouth telling her she's excited to tell him a story about something or about a new cow that we got or pigs that were born, and he's looking at her like I don't know what she's saying. Yeah. But super sweet guy, super sweet family, but it just makes you
Yeah,
slow down. And so we got here and we literally got here and we were searching for homes, and we kept saying that we wanted to be within an hour or 30 minutes of friends. We have some friends that live in Spring Hill
yeah,
that moved out that I've known Justin and his family since I was in seventh grade.
yeah, something like that.
Um, I probably have known him the longest out of any friends I'm still friends with today. Um, So they were helping. They were a huge help to us.
Hmm.
We used them as a forwarding address when we moved here, and That was a huge help, and just having somebody here and having an agent that we trusted was key. Like, I remember we told our agent we were here, we're like, because we were running them all over the state. We didn't know where we wanted to be. We know we wanted to be in Middle Tennessee. We didn't want to be in West Tennessee. It just geographically, it wasn't what we loved. It was too flat. We didn't want to be in East Tennessee because we didn't want to live in the mountains.
Mhm.
We just liked Middle Tennessee. So we're running them all over the state, trying to be mindful of the best that we can. And I remember we told them that our agent at the time that we didn't want to be referred to anyone else because we already have trust issues, and we trusted them, and then we trusted that they had our best interest
Yeah.
because the agent that we had in California, that's one thing that inspired us to be good agents here when we decided to get our real estate licenses, is because of the shortcomings of that agent there. That was a friend of ours. They sold us the house, and then
Mhm.
they sold the house for us, and we just felt the apathy and neglect, and we felt that we could deliver a better product. And I think that's one thing that helped, and because of the bad experience we had, that's one thing that inspired us to
Yeah.
become real estate agents.
Yeah, and I think at some point I did want, while we were living in California, I had this like pipe dream of like, oh, maybe once the kids are all in school and I have a little bit more free time with everyone in school, that I would like to do, real estate because it was something that I was, kind of thought it would be interesting to, a career to get into since at the time I was just stay at home mom watching, taking care of the kids. And I stepped away from the business, from our landscape business and so, yeah, so then we got here, it was like, "Okay, well, what are we gonna do?" Like Aaron said, like, there was good 6 months that we just didn't trust anybody, and the only time we left the property was go get groceries or whatever we need to do, take the kids to school, but there was definitely that trust issue, but, I think it kind of the light bulb went off towards the end of that year, and it was like, "Hey, let's do this." Like, if both feet in, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I know a lot of people move from out of state and they go, I want to spend all my money and I'm going to get this big lavish house and stuff like that. Like, we have a similar sized home than we had in California moving here. But we were on a third of an acre in California, and we're on 5 acres here. Our property taxes are definitely way better. I think we were paying $10,000 a year for property taxes there for that third of an acre, and here we pay 2,000.
Yeah,
Um, Vehicle registrations. I remember when we went and got our vehicles registered for the first time.
that was such a culture shock.
To register our two vehicles plus our fifth wheel, it was like in California, it was like $3,800 for all three of them.
Mhm.
And I remember coming back and I paid $35 a piece to register our vehicles here. And Cassandra's like, "There's no way. There's absolutely no." And I didn't wait
Like,
in
who who
line.
did who did you rob?
Right. I walked in to the county clerk's office. I didn't have to go to the DMV to do it. And I
Mhm.
walked in and I walked out. Cassandra, we renewed our registration last year. There's a coffee shop on the square here in Winchester. Cassandra went to go get a gift card for somebody in a coffee shop. A gift card. She didn't even order coffee. She went and got a
Yeah,
gift card. Walked in the door. There was no line. I walked across to the center of the square, went to the clerk's office. I registered 3 vehicles in 3 separate transactions, and I got back to the truck the same time Cassandra got back to the truck.
yeah.
And I
Like,
didn't have to make an all-day ordeal about it. It was just, and I
that's just unheard of, like, in California, like, no, you'd be there all day, or you'd have to make an
no.
appointment. I mean,
I
I think
remember
even getting our license plates here or getting our, driver's license here once we, switched,
that
our
might have taken
everything.
an hour.
Yeah, if that. I mean, we made an appointment and you were in there, you did your picture, you're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, it was, I remember in California, whenever we go to the DMV, you try to find a DMV buddy, even though you had an appointment, you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the DMV. We're gonna take the day off of work." Who's packing
We're gonna make
snacks?
it we're gonna make a day of it.
You bring hydration and, you know.
Yeah.
So we were in real estate here. We joined Keller Williams when we first got here. We're still with current Keller Williams today as we record this, and
Mhm.
um, we started a team. It's just Cassandra and I, and we did real estate for about a year, maybe a little bit. We did real estate for about a year and a half before we decided to start expanding our team. I think we had to have a proving ground that we could accomplish our goals on our own without impacting other people's lives and their goals, I guess you could say, even though we were I don't know, helping other people buy homes. Those are goals, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So we decided to
Yeah.
expand our team and we brought one person on. And the next thing you know, one turned into two, then turned into five.
Yeah.
And our team's rapidly growing. We've had a physical team together here and been doing training for what, 4 or 5 months now
4 months. Yeah, but I'd say about 4 months now.
since our first agent came on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're really putting systems in place and we're really trying to instill what we feel being a good agent means and
Mhm.
providing that level of service. And so it's allowing us, you made reference to a Bible verse the other day about um, how we live our lives and how we're trying to impact others because our two hands can only impact so many people. Our
Mhm.
four hands can only impact so many people. So if we can impact other people to empower them to use their hands,
Mhm.
that we can accomplish so much more. Do you remember what that verse was?
I think you're referring the encouraging. I think it's Thessalonians. It's on our refrigerator. Thessalonians like 3:1 or something like that. I can't remember, but it's just encouraging. It's encouraging others to just do better and to be better. And I think when we first decided to start doing a team, very much kind of sort of at first, at least at least myself, I was a little hesitant because I didn't want it to feel like what we had in California with the business and we had employees and all that stuff. This is a
Yeah,
different having a team is completely different from having employees. Um, but if we can encourage other agents to have their main goal be help people find houses, help people find a home, find sanctuary, whether it's your first home, second home, or vacation home, whatever the case may be. Um, you're if we're empowering our agents to do better, then in turn they're going to impact and encourage other people, and it's just a full circle thing. I mean, I don't know. Every time I talk about it, it gives me goosebumps because then we're doing something meaningful, not just putting people in houses, but we're satisfying a higher being, basically.
yeah. It's I always talk with the team when I'm doing team trainings with them, and I always talk about that we're not. Yes, we're realtors. Yes, we're real estate agents. We're not salespeople. I'm never going to convince you to spend $500,000 of your hard-earned money on something like that's just asinine.
Yeah.
But what we are is we're problem solvers, and you've got some discomfort somewhere. Either you need another bedroom, you're tired of renting, you need to be closer to your job, you need to flee an oppressive state. You need a reset in life. Um, that's typically where real estate comes from, and so we always preach to our agents that they're problem solvers and they're not salespeople.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, we and I had a conversation at one point recently. Talked about being a tree. A tree is recognized as bearing fruit and giving
Mhm.
and providing something for others, and so we're trying to instill in our team um, here at Buy Tennessee Dirt that to be a tree and to be a problem solver and to provide for others. And if you help enough people get what they need in life, you'll get what you need in life.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and it's, we're blessed to live on our little farm and have our animals and becoming more self-sustainable and teaching our girls the things that they would have never been able to learn in California. And, you know, as of, as of this year, um, Cassandra and I finally came to Christ and we started attending church here at Estill Springs First Baptist. And we found a family that really, I don't know, took us in.
Mhm.
And, we fell in love with the congregation and we became a part of them. And we're being baptized here in less than a month on my
Yeah.
mom's birthday, October 13th. So, and Cassandra and I really never grew up in the church.
Mm.
So having that opportunity here is definitely a unique one. And, just the sense of community and welcomeness. And, it takes a village to raise a family. And, when we got here, we didn't have that village. We were
Yeah.
terrified of the village. We told the village people that I don't trust you. I
Chase them
remember
away with pitchforks.
I told Pastor Dave that he kept inviting us to church because, here, even though our girls go to public school, they have an after school program like they have one today, where they call it Good News Club. And they're actually able to go into the schools and they have a religious-based after-school program at a public school. California, you would have never seen that in
No,
California.
absolutely not.
And so we had that opportunity for our girls here, and that's how we were introduced to the church. And trust me, I did my research and I watched people and I tried to figure out where's the money going and what's the alternative motive. And I just couldn't find anything negative.
Mm.
And, and it's, so yeah, so we're going to be baptized here in about a month, and we're really excited about that. And we're really excited about, and since we've been doing that, since we've been going to church, and since we've just kind of come into our own, Cassandra attends a thing called Soul Series at Promise Manor in Lynchburg.
Mhm.
And we got introduced to that from the people that we actually bought our home from, the Whites. And so they own Promise Manor out there in Lynchburg, and it's a gorgeous historical building. And
Like a 200-year-old house.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. So they put on these women's Bible studies once a month, and then they have a big one every year. And this last one that you just went to was, what was the theme of it? I'm trying.
Surrender.
Surrender.
Mhm.
And I think it's so ironic because Cassandra comes home and she's telling me all about it. She's there all day, and we had a daddy-daughter day with the girls, and Cassandra's doing her soul series. She comes home and she tells me it's surrender, and then I'm thinking about it further and further, and we really got here, and yes, we were standing on soil, but it took us a little while to finally understand that we needed to surrender and
Mhm.
just let Tennessee be what it's going to be and provide what it's going to provide to us. And
Mhm.
um, the level of stress, like, granted, we deal with a lot of stuff as real estate agents, but our stress levels aren't nearly what they were when we were in California, either
Mhm.
raising our family or for our business or whatever. The stress levels were immense. I can't tell you how much sleep I lost, and
Yeah.
our health has gotten better since we've been here. And we were talking last night while we were making dinner, and we talked about how those stresses are gone because we finally have surrendered. We've surrendered, to the soil and to the air around us and to Christ, and it's taken that burden from us. And Cassandra says, "Well, we still get stressed out about the girls," and I go, "Well, we don't really get stressed out about the girls.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
get frustrated with them, but
Frustrated, yeah.
anybody's going to be frustrated with their kids. I mean, I can only have so much patience. I mean, if you can't relate to that, I don't know who you are."
Right.
So we've really come full circle in Tennessee, and it's just I couldn't imagine. Like, I won't go back to California for anything. There's nothing that can take me back to California.
And I think that's, like, one of the main questions a lot of people ask, like, there's actually 2 of them. "Well, why Tennessee?" And I, kind of go over, why, and then it's like, "But go ahead, pick a state between California and Tennessee, and go ahead and let me know which state you want me to pick from." I mean, Nevada, yes, my sister lives there, I love her dearly, but the high desert, no.
No, I get a
Arizona
nosebleed every time we go.
Arizona, yeah.
Nosebleed every time we go there.
Yeah, Arizona, I love my best friend Sarah, but it's too dang hot. And then Colorado's starting to be like, sorry for anybody that still lives there. I know my aunt still lives there, but Colorado's slowly turning into California. And then they've got the plain states, and I'm like, there's nothing really much going on there. But
I
and
mean,
then
we
the
did a video the other day. Even Jordan moved from Tennessee to Colorado and back to Tennessee. So
yeah, yeah.
learn all about Colorado in that video.
Every state has its pluses and minuses. I don't know, and I would never go back to California. I mean, as much as I miss my family, I'm much happier here. We're much happier as a husband and wife, as a family, and I think we said earlier in the video, like, I can let my kids be free. I can let my kids, breathe. I can let
We let
them.
our 3-year-old just walk out the front door. Even when she was 2, she's like, "I'm gonna go outside and go play." "Okay,
Yeah,
goodbye."
have fun.
And we don't have to worry about her. It's an
Yeah,
amazing thing. And granted, maybe our guard's down a little bit further than it needs to be, but still.
yeah,
Um, one thing I love about living here is, when we were in California, we lived there for so long that no matter when we left the house, we couldn't go anywhere in California that we hadn't been. And when
yeah.
we got here, it's every time we leave the door, it's an adventure, and we go a new way. And we've been here 2.5 years, and we're familiar with a lot of the roads and what things are and where things are, but it's like we geek out when we went to the sale barn to sell some pigs a couple weeks ago, and it took us down the most country back roads the truck and trailer barely fit down it, and it was
Yeah.
just normally that would stress you out, and you're like, "No, let's just go. Let's see where it goes." And
Yeah.
worst case scenario, you're gonna turn around in somebody's front yard at the end of a country road, and guess what? They're gonna come out and they're gonna introduce themselves, and you're gonna make a friend.
Yeah. Well, I think you were talking about how Rachel has had to get used to, from living from New York and then moving here and just the niceness of people. Like, I think when we were looking at houses, we were driving around and we stopped at a gas station to go because my girls need to use the restroom. And I was like, "In California, oh, no, no, thank you. I would not have done that." And it would have, um, the I guess the people that own it and stuff like that, it would have put you a little off-putting and stuff. But we stepped into a gas station. It's a, backwoods little podunk gas station in the middle of nowhere. Bathroom was pristine, and the lady that was behind the counter was super sweet, super nice. And I like not, wasn't off-putted by, how nice they were. Because normally, like I said, in California, you'd have been like, "Why are you being nice to me? What do you want? What are you gonna steal from me?" Sort of thing. So here it's completely different. You are welcomed no matter what.
I've had so many people ask me, "Is the South really as genuine and friendly as it is?" And Mr. Morris came by the house the other day to bring me a bill for our hay because we buy hay from him, and he shows up with a fresh baked chess pie. Like, who brings an invoice with a pie? That's about the most Southern thing you possibly could do.
Hey, and it was the second pie because she was not happy with the first pie. So
Oh yeah,
she at least gave us the good pie, I guess you can say.
yeah. She said she pulled the first one out of the oven, and she's like, "You're absolutely not taking that to them." So it's just the little extra steps, and even Mr. Morse came by one day. We were digging. You and I were putting fence up in the front yard, trying to
Mhm,
fence in a pasture to put cows in eventually, and we're out there with clamshell post hole diggers and the
mhm.
digging bar and all these posts. We had like 40, 50 posts, big round wood posts to put in the ground, and he comes up and he's like, "How are you gonna put all these posts in the ground?" And I was like, "I'm gonna dig
Dig
a
a
bunch of
hole.
holes." And he's like, "You stay right here." And he hopped in his truck and he drove home. Next thing you know, he's trotting down the road with a tractor with an auger on the back of it. And he gets off of it and he goes, and then I think his son or his wife pulled in behind him. And he said, "You use this until you're done with it. And then you bring it back down to me."
Yeah,
Okay. And he's like, "I just need it back by such and such date because I got to start cutting hay."
yeah.
Okay. And I tried to go pay him for fuel. And I mean, and just
Yeah,
bend over backwards
he
to help
was
you.
yeah, he wasn't willing to budge, but, yeah, that was before we had a tractor, and so that definitely helped us. Even when we had to put the T-posts in, he brought over their automatic T-post, whatever,
Yeah,
battery
he had a
op or
gas powered T
gas-powered.
post driver. Yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah. That saved that saved so much time. We'd probably still be putting fence up.
So it's if you're ever on the fence and you don't know how to get out of a situation, if you're local here in Tennessee, you're out of state, um, you want advice on relocating, um, give us a call. Let us know. We're more than happy to help you. Advice is always free.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves in being able to help one another, and we want to make sure that we help you when you're ready. Um, it's if you could offer any advice, Cassandra, to people that are moving across country or from another state, what advice do you think that you would give them?
Um, I think what I would do is what I call exploratory home tour or exploratory trip. If you're interested in moving to Tennessee, what I always recommend then is to plan a trip to come out here and have a game plan. Say, "Hey, I'd like to look at some houses in Tullahoma and Belvedere and, and pick various places." So then and give yourself enough time. Like
Mhm.
if you can get away for a week, I would recommend doing that.
The
And then
hardest thing is when people come into town and they're just rushed from home to home to home, and they're
yeah,
not getting a chance to experience the community. They're just looking at the home,
yeah.
and the home is so much that is the smallest factor, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah, no, you definitely need to know your surrounding areas. So that's why I always recommend if you can come out for an extended weekend or a week, go look at some houses and then go check out McMinnville, go check out downtown, go check out like, oh, where's the nearest hospital? How far is the grocery store from here? All that stuff so that you can kind of get an idea of what you could potentially have your life be like. And,
Mhm.
um, like I said, I call it exploratory home tour because then you can kind of explore the area around the homes that you're
Yeah.
looking at.
And don't focus so much on the homes. Like, yes,
Yeah.
look at a home in different areas. Don't look at 10 homes in one area unless you know, "Hey, I wanna be in Murfreesboro, or I wanna be in Franklin or Spring Hill," whatever. Um, you can get an idea that way, but you get to know the community until you narrow down the community that you wanna be in because, we do a lot of virtual home tours. We'll go record a YouTube video. You can see some of them in our YouTube thread here,
Mhm.
and we'll go record a buyer's tour, and we don't say anything. We're not trying to sell anything. We're just giving you an idea of what it's like to walk into this home and walk through the home, and, I don't know, it's just a great experience, and then we can start narrowing stuff down, so,
Yeah.
and during your inspection period, you can come out and take a look at it and stuff like that, but it's you getting used to the community is the hardest part because that's something that we can't really showcase for you. We
Yeah.
can tell you our experiences and, and share as much information as we can, but what Cassandra and I love might not be what you love, so we wanna be very subjective to, how we talk about that to you, so
Yeah.
but yeah, spend the time, don't rush it. Um, but when you find the right home, I tell everybody, we always say it's always in the last place we looked. Well, why'd you keep
Mhm.
looking if you found it? So, um, come out, explore the towns, explore the communities, have lunch, meet people.
Mhm.
Um, if you're not in love with it, don't move here. I
Yeah.
mean, just to be 100% honest, um, because moving across country can be a super stressful situation.
Mhm.
Um, and it'll try marriages and it will try relationships with your kids. And you just have to be strong. And, you know, those are other stories that we didn't want to get into of people that have, come and
No.
gone and run back home. And I just don't understand, but it is what it is. So we appreciate you guys so much for hearing our story. And if you want
Yes.
to know anything more about our story, feel free and reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook and all the social media platforms. And subscribe to our channel if you have an opportunity, and we'll have
Mhm.
more videos like this. And it's hard. You won't see Cassandra and I on camera a lot together because we have three girls, and it's hard to get in there and do it. And we've got an
Yeah.
agent of ours that has her son here playing with Elizabeth, while our others are in school. And we act as a team, and we support each other, and we hope to support you. And we're here to help any way we can. So we appreciate you guys listening, and next time you guys will see us, together is Cassandra and I will be baptized. So, if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. We appreciate you all very much.
Yes, very much so.
Have a great week, guys.